I'm going to hit record. I'll walk through our warm-up that I would use, which is a little bit longer for a runner than it has been for the push-ups or the plank or the squat. And if you're going to go ahead and kick off your run, I'm pumped to have you. So go ahead and grab whatever tool or device you're going to bring with you, whether that's your phone or your watch, or if you have access to a tread, like I said, feel free to just be ready to rock and roll. And then I'll drop continued information in here, but because this one is more unique, I'm going to pull up our program before and just walk through it, that if I can answer any questions that might be helpful. And again, this one being more unique than some of the other ones. But so running a mile is pretty different. And a lot of people may believe that it's really based on just building your aerobic base, which there's value there. And aerobic, for definition, really is being able to sustain a certain heart rate for an extended period of time. Anaerobic being that speed or strength interval that you kind of start to move from anaerobic to aerobic around a minute and a half, which is your initial energy stores in anaerobic. But really, the science behind increasing your mile run is really working on speed intervals. So it's really working on those decreased distances and maintaining a higher threshold of speed. And so there is some benefit as you look at our program, where we're going to work on our aerobic base. So you're going to get a 1.5 mile run or a 2 mile run or a run walk, whatever that is. And I'll have some recommended paces on there. So, if you're running a 10-minute mile, when you go for your 1.5 mile run, the hope is that, if you did that out to 15 minutes, that you'll be within 20% of that as we increase our distance. And so the same thing for a 2 mile run. So there's some grace there, and I'll try to get those windows a bit tighter, but I'd love for you to try to push that aerobic base and try to get some speed. But the main focus that I want you to have when you're focused on this mile run are these speed intervals and the push day. And so when you're working 200 meters, 400 meters, and 800 meters, those are in relation, just a quick translation, which you may know, 200 meters is about 0.125 of a mile, 400 meters is a quarter of a mile, and 800 is right at a half of a mile. And so that's really the science behind improving your mile time. And so you can see on day 4 and day 6, my ask for you is that you go run 3 400s on day 4 with a 1-to-2 work-rest ratio. And what that means is that if I run that 400 in 2 minutes, I actually want you to rest 4 minutes. And I want you to walk as you do it, and you're going to have 3 of those. But I want those 400s to be sub pre-test time. So if you tested at an 8-minute mile, that breaks down to a 2-minute 400. And so the hope is that you then run, call it a 145 or a 150 on that 400, which should be challenging for you. You're asking your engine to move a lot quicker and faster, and then you want to make sure that you can kind of recover and go back to that threshold. And if you really hone in on those speed intervals, by the time you get to June 30th, I really believe that mile run time is going to be faster. You're going to see that you have some more power to really finish strong and maintain that pace through your workout. So, and there is a strength element to it as well. Obviously, we're driving force through the ground as we run. So the program is built around a heavy focus on speed intervals, building some aerobic base and some strength, and the hope that we can get this mile time a bit better. So that's kind of my hope as I kind of walk you through this. Again, this one a little more unique than the others. I'm actually going to guide you guys through a little bit of a longer warm-up for a runner, getting our heart rate elevated, really working on hips as well as our midline and our ankles before you either you kick off your run or you're watching this video later to get you started. It probably doesn't make sense for me to time you. So again, I recommend a GPS that will be able to track your location, whether that's Strava, Map My Run, or Apple Watch. So I'm going to turn my camera here and get a quick warm up with you guys as you jump into your mile run. If anybody happened to think that they needed some help timing, I'll gladly have my timer on the screen as you go out and knock your run out if you're going to leave the front door. But let's get ready for our mile run warm up. Let's roll. So right knee back, or left knee back, left leg out. About the same stretches if you've been in some of these, because they're a lot of our major muscle groups. We're going through a hip flexor stretch here. They want you to sink down into that hip and then release. Let's sink and release. Let's get 5 on this side. Just opening up that hip flexor. Once you get that fifth one, pop down, switch legs, switch it. Really starting to bring awareness to your breath. Challenge. The mile run is one of the most challenging things in my mind because you're really on that cusp of trying to figure out if it is aerobic or anaerobic, and you're having to just push. And I think it's a great one to challenge yourself. Come back to that left knee. Bring this other leg out to right at a side angle. I've been talking a lot, excuse me. Send your hips back and down. Bring your hands to the ground. You'll feel that inner hip and thigh. Stand back up. And pop back. Again, 5 right here. And let's switch sides. Sitting your hips down and back, standing back up. Just getting ready for that 1 mile run. Let's pop up. We're going to go right through our ankle flips. So just want you just bouncing as if you're jump roping. I call them ankle flips, starting to get our heart rate elevated, getting our toes ready to bounce off that floor and drive some force through the ground. Awesome job. Pop up to make sure you got some space behind you. Drive that leg back into a lunge. Bring that elbow by your hip. Let's rotate up to the sky. We do have rotation in our torso during our run as we have an arm swing. Getting 5 here, reaching for the sky, switching. So again, not as many tips and tricks here, running a little more unique to the person with leather length, but some things to think about as you start for your mile, really focusing on your breath, continuing to move oxygen through your body as you're trying to increase that intensity. Let's get 5 here. Let's come back to that ankle flip. Main thing too is really focusing on that arm swing. So focusing on hands clearing your hips, making sure you're getting arms to shoulders as you're moving. And then lastly, the 2 things you can really control are stride rate and stride speed. So trying to dictate how often that foot is striking the ground versus how fast you're returning and rolling over. So just a few things to think about as you work through this program. Now, I'm going to turn here and work on, if you can hold something for a hip swing, we want to really work on some full range of motion. So I like to get 8 on each leg. If you have the space to do so. Once you get 8, switch sides. This is a linear hip swing, so we're driving it up and through, getting our hamstring loose. Then I like to go lateral. So I'll turn right here, put both hands on it, and you're going to move that hip laterally. Just getting 8. Then switch sides. Get those 8. Now let's pop up. I like to do one more. A lot of hip focus here. We're going to go over the gate. So find a spot, envision a gate right in front of you. Take that hip and go over. Take that other hip and go over. Then switch legs. Now my other leg first. Left, right, walking back. Right over, left over the gate, left over, right over. Let's get 5 reps. We'll go for just the essence of time. Nice, finish up those hip overs. Let's go right into lateral lunge, side to side, picking up our heart rate. A little bit more here. Chest stays high, heels stay back. One more, we're just getting 12 total. And come right back here. All I want you to do is just go with a knee drive for about 5 seconds. So when I say go, you're going high knees, 5 seconds on, 5 seconds off, 3 rounds. Here we go, meet me in this running position. 3, 2, 1, let's go. 2, 1, recover. Just working on a little bit of speed change. 2, 1, let's go. 3, 2, 1, let's go. 2, 1, and recover. Last 2, come down to that kneeling, half kneeling position. My left leg is back, my left arm is high. Just fall and reach. We use so much during a run. I want to open up our side body just a hair. Switch sides. Last one. Inchworm for our hamstrings. Reach high, fall to the ground. You can really feel that hamstring. Just walk it out. Plank position. Walk it back in. You got 4. Your heart should be moving a little bit, which is fine. We want to make sure we'll cool it back down just a minute, and then you can kick off your run. Get that 4th one on that inchworm. And good. RV runners, if you're still here, you're about to kick it off, you're good to go. I would say take about a minute and a half, grab some water, get ready to roll. If you're gonna knock it out, send me your time when you get done so I can track it, walk through that program. If you have questions, let me know. Let me know how I can help as you look to increase your mile time. Pumped to be a part of you guys as a one-up challenge. Go get it, download that app, send me that score today. If you guys have any questions, shoot me a chat real quick or a Slack. I'll hang around for just a minute. Sierra and Dominic, you guys are monsters, just hanging out in every one. You guys are going to get your mile, go get it, send me your time. I'm gonna end this so I can save this warm up and share with our other team members. Go get it, get that time, use your phone so it's a little more accurate so when you start, stop, finish. Awesome job, great work. See you guys soon.